On your website and in your ebook, we talk about the fact that we believe that the tabernacle and the Ark of the Covenant may be included in some of these treasures that are out there. Mm-hmm. And I know you don't like the word treasures. We're not here to become wealthy because of some treasure, but it's a treasure of the heart in many ways to so many people. Mm-hmm. What we're talking about here. Now, the last place I recall that the Ark of the Covenant was in use was in Solomon's temple. Mm-hmm. And that being the case, do you think that in the hiding of these articles there were other items other than the Ark of the Covenant that came from Solomon's temple?
At Qumran?
Yes.
Yes, I do. What I think happened in a nutshell is after the Babylonians began to attack and after they left Israel, after they took the slaves and took everybody captive and went back into Babylon, Jeremiah had great favor with Nebuchadnezzar and with his generals. Nebuzaradan, I believe is his name. He had great favor with them. And it even says in the Maccabees and some of the Apocryphal books that and even in Scripture, what we consider Scripture, that he was given valuable gifts. Why would Jeremiah be given valuable gifts? It's because Jeremiah was saying what God told him to say. Doggone it, pack your bags, don't pray, just load up, get your families and go to Babylon, go into captivity, because you're going to pay back this 70 years that they didn't keep the sabbaticals. You're going to do it. So don't even bother praying and asking God to forgive you because it's not happening. You're going. Well, he was considered a traitor to the country of Israel, or Judah at that time. So he made a lot of enemies with the priest, the king, what's his name, Zedekiah, King Zedekiah. He was upset with him big time. He wanted him out of here, and he locked him and his boys locked him in that hole and kept him in there. Well, all this gold and silver, once they got everybody out of the country, now Jeremiah and his guys, and if there's a book, and then let me explain this, there's a book called Emek HaMelech, which means Valley of the King.
Yes.
That book gives a very interesting story that matches up with everything that I'm telling you. That's a book that Vendel told me about, and I got to give him credit for that. It says that there were 4 men that wrote on this copper scroll. 2 of them, I can't remember their names. The other 2 were Zedekiah and Haggai, 2 biblical prophets. Well, once all these folks left the country, that left Jeremiah and these boys and there were another 100 priests to load all this stuff and get it to Qumran. Now you're talking probably a 15-mile walk.
Okay.
And it's not a straight line distance, so it's going to be more than that once you do the twists and turns to go with it. Now, they very well could have hauled a bunch of this gold, silver, gems from Jerusalem to Qumran and then put it into this cave that I'm telling you about. Okay, now I haven't actually seen the cave, but I have seen the rock formations, and it darn sure looks like there's a cave there. That remains to be seen. Now, there's also the probability that this location that they call Qumran today, I'm sure you've been there.
Yes.
You remember the structure that looks like a pyramid?
Like a tower.
Got the top cuff off of it.
Yeah.
In the copper scroll, it actually names this thing.
Oh, okay.
It describes it in detail. It says the building with the sloping walls.
Yes.
It's there. And the walls are probably 5 feet thick. Now, why would you build a tower with walls 5 feet thick that's not going to go up much more than 2, maybe 3 stories? That's a heck of a foundation. I understand you got some engineering background. That would be an overkill big time. Well, that's what they call the treasure. What is that? What was the name of the family that was at Qumran? Hakaz. Thank you. The treasure of Hakaz, because Hakaz is the family that was the treasurers not only during Solomon's time, but even during the time of Jesus. The Hakaz family was the treasurers.
Right. That's right.
So now they're talking about this. And even names it in the book, the Copper Scroll. It calls it the building of Hakaz.
So we have a lot of evidence today from history
Yes.
that indeed those articles were hidden by some very reliable prophets and priests
You bet.
from times old. So we've got good reason to believe that they were put somewhere, and we believe in the Qumran area. Now, since that time, we've had people like Allegro,